Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Norman series here on the Lord Master channel. And no, people, we're still not quite yet to Normandy yet, where we settled as part of Hrolfr's aspirations to settle Normandy. But I still have not yet due to some of the things I want to do. And some of you ask, well, what's that? Well, first off, do a little more exploration of Norway before we get out of Scandinavia. Do a bit of island hopping on our way to Iceland, and after we spend some time there, then we'll go down to Britannia, starting with Ireland, in relevance to the male flavor pack, even though I would not dream of settling in Ireland, as I still have to settle up there eventually. But I'm still in the prime of my life, 31 years old, excellent health. And some of you may be concerned of why haven't you picked up a spouse yet, and have children and all that, and concubines and such. I will do that once I settle down. I'm going to do it just like what Hrolfr did in real life. That when he settled in Normandy, or even beforehand, he actually took up a Frankish girl, a Frankish woman, to be his wife and all that, and there you have it. So, in other words, I'm saving her once I'm, around there, and find either the smartest, the most beautiful, or the strongest woman that they have in that realm over there in West Francia. I'm not ready to go there just yet. There's still a few more things I want to do here in Norway before I leave. First things first, instructor of knights. You know what to do. Let me see, old man. Learned on the spot. That's a success. Just follow the moves. Learns a lot. Alright, it'll be a success. Unless you want to make it an exceptional success, but no, just follow the moves. Couldn't keep up, so modest success. Earned some money and some provisions. Now let's do hired muscle for more monetary reward and provisions, of course. Let's get on with our task. Come on, wolf boy. Just in case. Aha. Actually, no. We'll manage. Just give it the best ones. We could take the lesser as you're already at the high percentage. 10 days until next phase, so it's going to be a lot faster. Oh yeah, this sickly blind boy. Yeah. You've brought my ward Balder to the market today. Balder was to hand out alms to the poor and needy, to learn about charity and the ruler's plight to the less fortunate. He refused to give a single coin to anyone, she exclaims. Everyone with that are either undeserving or beneath him. In the end, he kept the gold. Seems to develop an egotistical streak. No, you must care for the poor. They're blind, you know. Can't be arrogant due to your condition. That's just wrong. Sometimes. See, look how fast we're progressing this scheme. Ready to execute. Do it. Yeah. Give me it. Now, let's do it again. Just go on. Able porters. Receive occasional register good skilled porters. Oh, that reminds me, I'm going to do some reshuffling on the camp officers very soon. Cheaper to use gold and mainly reinforced interaction, just for preparation of whenever I get myself a little army for me to have before I settle in the Promised Land. Plus 1 knight. You have more room. And more provisions, more importantly. Unless you want to save your money to upgrade this. Which gives you more trial speed, provision capacity, men at arms toughness, another building slot. Alright, same thing. If Masters attempt to establish the savings initiative has failed, the camp's resources were poorly allocated. Now you face challenge of managing without any buffer for emergencies. Well, you can't win all the time. Dispute over records. The clerk's attempts to document the camp's history has disagreements among the whores. Some feel their contributions were overlooked, leading to arguments and minor unrest in the camp. Lose more provisions. Damn it, people. Do better. Gotcha. Let's upgrade this pavilion. One more building slot will do. Make room for something good. Say, you got any contracts for me? No? Ah, here's one. Give it here. Stand with us. Oh, right, ongoing conflict. I shouldn't have never asked. When there's an ongoing conflict that everybody wants to conquer you. See, the enemy side is superior. Well, we don't have the money to create the army right now. Even though we are perfectly capable of it. That's it? Sorry, cat! And also, I don't trust to recruit random men-at-arms regiments as something that isn't worth spending my money on. Unless I'm over at some other different cultured area. But give it to me. Well, let's go to Dofa. It's too bad we don't have the money to afford a hunt. I mean, could increase that, but I'm gonna need a little more than that. I wanted to hunt here because mountains. She's one of the good ones. Yes, I'm aware he's a witch. don't have the intrigue enough to try to get him and he'll leave us. Just give me a tiny bit of money. I was about to say, I recall there's somewhere in the area somewhere where there's the modern town of Lilyhammer. Hama? Maybe that's it. Let's just go down there. Just trying to look for some new contracts while I hope to go hunting in Dover. That's what I want to do. And perhaps sell an artifact if need be. A treasure hunt, you say? Alright then. I get some provisions. Nope. The retired treasure hunter, your son needs help locating one final elusive hoard. This will remain valid as long as you have the treasure map in your possession. She walks up to me and pats my shoulder. Such a good lad. Surely appreciate your aid for one final excursion. Stands over the treasure map. The wrinkles around her eyes softening, she smiles. It may not look like this much, but I wrestled with Loki himself to attain this. Treat it with care. Pausing for a moment to let the words sink in, the old woman then cackles. Whenever you're ready, with treasure to dig up. Let's head out. Where is it? Oh, that's not far from here. It's actually right over there, next door. You lazy woman, why don't you just get up there and get it yourself? But she says, I'm getting old and my body is failing. Find this elusive treasure, bring it back to me. My time's running short. Am I? You're already excavating a treasure. What are you talking? Okay, let's just move up to where the treasure is. Use the treasure map. Wait one day. Okay. The hell? Why do I feel like I got robbed? Or maybe just get out of the realm. Try that. Move to hostile. Rising from the valley like a wooden ship turned to the sky. A state church commands your attention. Its walls are dark with tar, its roofs peaked crowned with dragon heads that snarl at the heavens. The old Norse craftsmen who built it clearly had not entirely abandoned their ancestors' aesthetics. Drifa, the local priest and religious creature. Welcome, travelers. You admire our church? The dragons drive away evil spirits, so the old folks say. We keep them because they are beautiful. Because removing them would anger the parishioners more than any demon. Inside the columns are carved with intertwining beasts and vines. The smell of pine tar mingles with scents. It is a strange marriage of faith. This building, Christ preached beneath the pagan serpents. Remarkable building. Tell me of its history. Hrolfr eagerly explains how the church was built without a single nail, using the techniques passed down from shipwrights, dragon carvings, interlocking timbers, tar that preserves the wood. Each detail tells a story that people will find their own way to God. Alright, let's try that again. I already left the realm, but they still say no. What the hell? Probably a bug. I got no choice but to abandon the contract. Because of the bug. Now this thing is useless to me. Unless I could sell that treasure map. You know what, let's do that. As we visit here in Oslo. Oh, and give me that thing. Simply for the sake of it. That merchant over there made me out your offer. Managed to convince it. As much as it would be nice to have, but I don't have a royal court in it. Even in 55 years' time, I'm still not going to be of kingdom level, so we might as well sell this prime Carlian sable pelt. Never did me any good. Shoo! Gesundheit. Or whatever is the equivalent of in Norwegian, Swedish. Anyways. Keep trying, damn it. Just keep on traveling and maybe a contract will pop up somewhere. And still would like to hunt. They sit by the campfire for a long day. A group of Charles approached us in the dark. They looked like a gaggle of lost pilgrims, led by a haggard-looking man. This was my first person I noticed, all carrying valuables of some kind or another. Please, leader, could we please be allowed the rest of the camp? We've been through a long journey. Oh, I will relieve you of your troubles. I'm sure nobody knows a couple of friends got lost in their journey, right? It doesn't say it's an unjust move, but I did it anyway because I need the money for the hunt. Ease the burden, ease the suffering. Good fighting, open confrontations. Ambitions are brought over to open confrontations, where followers are clashing over to make it powerful officers of vacant positions. Immediate intervention is required to prevent further violence and maintain order. That's what it needs, a mistress? Okay then. You'll do because you're the courtier here. And I did mention we gotta reshuffle. We do have excellent competent ones. Somewhere. You'll make for a good armor. Oh, you just wear many hats. You can also be a quartermaster for less provisions lost as we travel, among other things. See, that's why I wanted to save my money for. Just a hunt here. Hrolfr. This is where we hunt. I have no right to hunt in Jarl Dag's slopes. Must purchase the rights to do so unless I want to be seen as an outlaw and a poacher. Of course, if I were the securities rights, I'd not be allowed to bring down any animal I wish. Oh, it's not unjust. I'll say, sod these rights. I hunt wherever I want. I say that because I can. And plus, I'm going to be leaving Norway anyway. So screw! Hrolfr assembles the party. The sun rises over the camp near the highlands of Overhaul. Many of my gamekeepers and folks have been pouring over the area with tracks and fumes. Seems a mighty heart is unquestioned here. A word for quarry. A big heart. Let's get out there. My personal physician, the Beves, dismounted squat in the grass, carefully examining the orchid flower. Here's lost all interest on. There, look at all these useful herbs and flowers here. This one can soothe aches, this one aids a broken hip, this one wards off bubonic plague. It's only 5 years and I could get more knowledge. Learning, whatever. So I'll just say get back on your horse. Slightly increase the hunter trade experience of mine. My huntsmen decided to know the place of the beast's covert, and the nearby water holes and grazing the hard frequents, though it is by no means an easy thing to do. If we were to carefully creep up on the buck, we could perhaps catch it unawares of our bows. Arrogant and brave. But I say, bah! Real hunters corner the prey. Last one to reach it cleans the kennels. I do it because I'm brave and arrogant. Like all game, the slippery heart has many tricks, bunches, and ruses that can fool even experienced hunters. My follower, Yara, has halted the party. Folks have been standing perfectly still in the sparse pines, unflinchingly getting behind us, even under dogs' noses. There's no agreement over which course to follow, and each moment we tarry puts us further from our prize. Face sheds. This should be easy to solve. Quickly find a scent. After hours of riding, we are finally cornering the wily beast. Our chase has not been in vain. The exhausted panic now has turned to bay, struggling to stand and snorting in panic. The mighty heart, antler tines bristling, still has to fight him, snorting as dogs and spears surround it. I'll bring it down myself. Take this, brute! I had my spear, cautiously moved toward the exhausted animal by choosing more carefully, plunging my blade deep in its heart. Take that! Hunts like these are pure joy. Cannot wait for next year. There's nothing quite like the thrill of bringing down a mighty beast. Here are decks to break it up, deftly skinning a carcass with precision and speed. We place the eager dog, share the spoils on a stretch out before departing for camp and home. Good number of provisions. I'll keep a memento here. Just short. The heart antler. Inventory artifact. The antler are hard hunted by later Hrolfr the walkers in the north. Yes. This can go. And put this on. Can't seem to get rid of it. Can't even sell it. Put but I'm ready to travel this part of Norway before we take our leave. But no, I want to travel overland. And I want to face the dangers. Face the worst. Oh, I'll even go further. Maybe. I see no problem. Venerate at any shrine you come across for a bit of piety. There you go, this will be an overland trip. Some followers may die for this, but I want to brave it all. Because this coming winter is going to be brutal. Ready? Let's go. Do your worst, Mother Nature! The road to Nidar is crowded with pilgrims, all walking towards the shrine of St. Arms. The warrior king brought Crusader to Norway and died on Stickless dead with a prayer on his lips. The other set points at the distant towers of the great cathedral still under construction, rising above the town like a promised land. A group of pilgrims invite you to join their procession. They sing hymns as they walk, and their voices rise in the cold northern air. At their head, a priest named Vim carries the wooden cross and speaks of the miracles performed at Olaf's tomb. The blind made to see, the lame to walk, the faithless believe. I'll be honored to join the pilgrimage. 100% welcome for them. Fall to the 7 pilgrims, join in their songs as you can. The shared journey creates bonds, and by the time you reach Nidaros, you made friends among the faithful. You gain the St. Olaf Pilgrim Badge. A pewter patch depicting St. Olaf with his axe, purchased at Nidar's Cathedral. Pilgrims wear such treasures to prove they completed the sacred journey. I wonder how much it sells when we get to the market somewhere. Between the chaos of regular moving sights and the coming and going of fresh faces every other town, there are plenty of the time of day for followers to find they have an unforeseen connection with someone new and unexpected. Judging from their shared jokes, past whispers, and the occasional unsubtle sneaking away, this seems to be just a case of a laggard man. Who just to lovers think themselves steadily, but they are not. None of my business, really. I'm not going to do any more of that alignment. It's largely balanced, as it should be, except for the clergy, because screw them. Morning brings a report about a man-eating beast that struck again. Another life vanished without a trace, save for the slight drag marks and a few flecks of blood where the nimble creature disabled its prey. Sentries can't get a look at the damn thing. Whatever it is, it's got a taste for us. It seems smart enough to follow us during the day or early evenings. The cat's eyes to the craggy peaks and ridges that loom over the pale dawn light. An uncountable number of places for some cave-dwelling terror to hide, watching, waiting, hunger slowly building for its evening meal. I shall take its head. We can't afford to wait another night to outrun the thing. Gathering my hunting party, tend to end this, and to do so this very morning. The beast's tracks are soft and difficult to follow, but unmistakably canine. After nearly an hour, we've reached the edge of a steep cliff where footprints simply seem to vanish. A fierce groan to our rear prompts me to wheel around, where I'm confronted by a sizable wolf, eyes aflame with feral hunger, teeth snapping, thick goblets of saliva flying from its maw. The creature, its trap sprung, breaks into a sprint. Loose, man, loose! Straight to the eye. Screams erupt from the outskirts of a settlement as a massive brown bear, driven from its territory by hunger or disturbance, has wandered to the streets looking for food. The beast is enormous, its fur matted and its eyes wild with confusion and aggression. It's already overturned a market stall and mauled someone who got too loose. Rick, a local, runs towards you with terror in their eyes. Help us! The hunters are away and no one knows what to do. The bear roars, the sound echoing off the wooded buildings. Women are grabbing children, men are reaching for whatever weapons they can find, and chaos spreads faster than the beast itself. Alright. I'll challenge the beast to single combat. Stand back, all. 100% chance of legend in the making. I face the bear alone, weapon against claw. The fight is terrifying and glorious in equal measure. When the beast finally falls, I stand over it like a hero from the old sagas. This is just to increase my foot experience. All the way. There you go. And with that, you now have more knights and increase the size of the men-at-arms regiments. Make events too, and did. This road's gone incredibly hilly the past few hours, and everyone's beginning to worry. With no ends of the hills in sight, my caravan master Kraka approaches me and says, "Leader, my mounts cannot carry on like this for much longer. Hornells need a break, or fear they'll collapse. Must stop to rest. Charles foes, today our journey to Lopete." She's right. It would be wise to rest. Going through this hellish winter. It's been snowing for the past few days and the cold is unbearable. I look around to see my entourage is struggling with it as well. So to decide to travel on foot alongside him as we walk through the snowstorm for another hour. Ragnar pulls me aside, shaking my hips. "Please, my leader, I cannot feel my finger anymore." He tries to make a fist, but the pain's too strong. The finger is swollen and all turned shades of blue and black. Surely. Oh, David knows how to treat it. The storm came from the polar sea with terrifying speed. One moment the sky was grey but calm, the next a wall of white and fear descended upon your party. This is no ordinary blizzard, this is an Arctic storm, carrying winds that could freeze flesh in a moment and strip the warmth from the hardiest traveler. The wind screams so loud you cannot hear yourself think. Snow flies horizontally, stinging any exposed skin like 1,000 needles. Fire stumbles against you, shouting something lost in the gale. Visibility is dropped to nothing. Your horses are panicking, and the temperature is dropping faster than I thought possible. This storm could last for hours or days, not survive either without shelter. Somewhere in the chaos there must be salvation. A rock formation, a snow drift enough to dip the burrow into something, but fighting while fighting against nature's fury almost seems impossible. As a traveler, I say, I've survived such storms before, many times. Trust my experience. Faced polar winds from Greenland to Novgorod. I know how to read a storm, finding subtle signs of shelter, position bodies for maximum warmth for intonation. My experience saves lives today. I needed to get that trade experience and wander up more. Arctic veteran, they calls me. My caravan leader approached me to camp, polishing my makeshift mace. My lord, Rodne is rich in deposits of high-quality metals, greater than I ever seen before. With your permission, I would be delighted to improve your makeshift mace with these lucrative materials. A great idea. I mean, it can do better. Now it has durable materials. So now it has +4 martial and +1 injury resistance to prowess. So now it's a heavy improvised mace. Made to tail certifications. Effectiveness is undeniable as roughness, and lessons learned from making it sure the greater savings in the future. So yes, this mace is better than normal. Prayed to a local Norse shrine. Whatever it is. Will you join us? Yes, he will. I didn't notice at first. The cold in Halogaland is ever present. After all, but no Lulu stopped moving, staring at hands that turned to alarming shade of white. Frostbite. I can't feel my fingers, says a voice too calm. The cold has already dulled the panic that should accompany such words. I look at my own hands, see similar signs. Pale patches, waxy skin. The wind's been stealing my warmth so gradually I didn't notice it till it was almost too late. Ears, noses, toes, any exposed flesh is at risk. Without immediate action, the frostbite will deepen. The fingers and toes turn black and fall off. People lost entire limbs to the creeping cold in these northern lands. You must find warmth, and you must find it now. Once again, I tell you, I survived this before. Follow my instructions exactly. I've seen frostbite claim fingers, toes, and even noses. I know the signs, the treatments, the dangers of impatience. My calm, experienced guidance saved the party from the worst of the damage. The North has taught me well. Arctic expertise. Almost there, and here we are. Ah, there's one contract, but that's diplomacy scheme. That's just for prestige gain, with some provisions. If you do well, you might be paid. Sure, there's gotta be more than this. Is there? Nope. Hey, that merchant over there. Oh, that's a different Sami man with the same name as my follower. Managed to convince him. This one as nice as the when we hunted that lynx one time, but you could sell it. But that hard antler sells very well, but no, this means a lot to me. Take the lynx fangs. We got some. Well, this appears to be the only contract we could do. Don't want to waste any more money. Let's just go do this thing. It's not a common for southern brewers like not to play host to notable travelers like myself. A few gifts and decent lodgings. Explorers such as ours provide entertainment, intelligence, and suitable distraction from many courtiers. That's of course if my followers can earn our keep of our tales. Just get it over with. A friendly voice from a perfect stranger go a long way to crown. Hey, who's to say who knows what? You be the show. The poet. Any petty lord with education can master words, takes true unmitigated talent to master verse. You be the poet. There's an art to speak of an hour without saying a thing. You be the gab. Toast, my lords and ladies, to a good friend of mine I'd like to think you as. as highly as I do. R&B the socialite. And a musician. Is it really life averse to music? I don't think so. But then I'll never like it for music. You be the man. Okay, so it will not take as long as I originally thought. So in the meantime, early evening is time for intense activity for the camp. People with supplies are tossed this way as our portable home is set down once more. Eventually, it's also when I take a walk to clear my head to escape the noise for a time. As I crest a small ridge, I see the last of the pinkish rays of the dying sun bath. The sunbathe the lesser peaks below, casting entire valleys to quick marching snow while bathing the mountains tips in rosy light. A beautiful sight, perhaps one even worth sharing. Nice move, but work beckons. Especially we're going to do a lot more traveling. Following the death sentence of Lord, he asked my Lord Balder what he thought. He claimed he learned the lesson about not reaching for more than one can handle. Over reaching can be terribly dangerous. You should be temperate, for the sake of your health. Since you're never cured of your illness. Have you not heard of her, my lord? I roll my eyes and regret dismissively. The state of flight's a fancy of Envion beneath me. Right now would be an understatement. They say she has an open challenge for anyone, my lord. Envion tries again. It's Sicily this time, lowering his voice considerably. Listen, I know you're tired of all the matrimonial questions. This woman offers a hand of marriage to anyone who could best her physical ability. I sit back and say, sir, a martial-minded woman? Surely I could come away victorious of a new wife in tow, no matter the skills. Alright, Arnbjorn. We'll ride to investigate. After a hard day's ride, we arrived at the location Arnbjorn had our court frequented to find a surprising scene. A little woman is currently grappling with a much larger man. Nor is it already seem a fair fight at all. But an instant later, the bout finishes surprisingly. The first figure brought angrily helps her opponent magnanimously before flicking her eyes over to regard me. I have not seen you around these parts before, smirks he addresses me. Dropping sardonically low. My name is Grilla. I know why you're here, but let me warn you. Anyone who wastes my time is to pay me a sum for my troubles. Gee, look at her. She's strong, she's athletic, she's a veteran adventurer, blade master, wise woman. She's a lot. Well, I'll say hello to your new husband, Grilla. 71% chance I defeat her, 29% chance she bests me. Grilla huffs entirely as we break our clinch again. I'm not one to deal too much better. It's clear how she has remained unwed. She smiles satisfied, John. You would make a good man for me. She remarks, not taking her eyes off my wounds. It's a shame I have to disappoint you. Grilla charges forward again, but this time I'm ready. A deft sidestep puts her off balance. A hooked foot around hers has her toppling. Her face is a mixture of shock, amazement, and excitement as I offer my hand. Sure. Well, I've accomplished all that is needed here. Well, and then she just decided to disappear without a trace, as in, okay, that's it for the event. You're never going to see her again. I didn't want to marry her because she didn't have any inheritable traits. That would be nice to have, but she doesn't. During our stay at the Chieftain's Court, we've done our best to remit some entertainment and occupy our retainers. We've done our job satisfactory. As Courtiers says, prior to approaching to ask a take on our camp. The Chieftain would surely not begrudge us if one single of his retainers if we're allowed to sign on. Oof. You ain't that good. I'll say. Alas, our company is full. We don't want another mouth to feed. Dinner at his court is an ideal time to impress courtiers on my dashing escapades. happier they are, the fatter my purse is likely to be. Of course, this calls for less subtle wit and more for stories of grand endeavors, played with heroism and villainy, accurately or otherwise. I think I know a few such tales. Words ring hollow, gain doubtful stories, lowering the success chance. Eh. But hey, if I screw up, I'm still gonna leave Scandinavia and go island hopping. Before we go down to Ireland. Let's see what goes on there. Damn. Damn. You're hurting this game potential. But, okay, wait one more, and then we'll try to give it a shot. Alright, let's go for it. Well, it's Courtiers practically swoon over my parties these past months. Day after day, night after night, we fill their heads with fantastical stories and our bellies rich fat, leaving a good chieftain more than satisfied with our performance. Still, all good things must come to an end. It's best for us to leave on a high note. We have a long path ahead of us. And perhaps, hopefully, you'll have something for us. Not likely a tournament. The winter night at Helgoland is long and cold, but tonight brings wonder beyond measure. As our party makes camp beneath the frozen stars, the sky itself comes alive. Curtains of green light ripple across the heavens, shifting and dancing like silk in an unseen wind. Streaks of pale violet and ghostly white joins display. I cast points outwards. No northern lights. I've heard tales. Never thought I'd seen them myself. Locals call them many things. The flickering of the Valkyries' armor, the breath of the sleeping dragons, the bridge between worlds. The Sami people say they are the spirits of the dead dancing in the sky. Whatever their origin, the sight is breathtaking. The lights almost seem close enough to touch, casting an eerie glow across the snow-covered landscape. Some say it is ill luck to whistle at them or wave, lest you draw their attention. Others claim to bring messages from the gods themselves. Want to get the wander up. I've seen such lights before. Let me explain the patterns. I've witnessed the northern lights from Iceland and Novgorod. I point out the patterns the companions miss. How the colors shift, where the brightest displays form, how to predict their movements, experience the riches everyone's standing. Press onwards. I made erupted from my stroll near the smithy tent to approach a nervous stranger. Woman who introduced themselves as Mary. It's clear as and Piety is I. Lord, I find myself ill at these lands, and I had hoped to so a worldly man as yourself would prove too willing to take in a homeless Catholic. Momentarily she pauses, staring herself to clearly expect rejection. I understand you are too many people could ever, but if you have me, I'll serve you loyally for all your days. You're a drunkard, but you're out to learning, so of course I'll take you in. Hopefully one day you'll get over your drunkenness. Alright, ready to depart. Let's head to Iceland. To here. Let me customize the route a bit. As I said, island hopping. Ready? Let's go. After 15 minutes of this video, we are out of Scandinavia. Talking about the mainland. We almost get a new building slot once we get our money from doing jobs and such. Although I should have just asked for Patriot, like should have asked for visible at it, but who cares? Not the end of the world here. As the choppy waters are enough to make any experienced sailor seasick, as we roll back and forth on the waves, the people on the ship are slowly moving to seek shelter below. Notice they're looking over the railing before turning away over the hull deck. Before anyone has time to react, the ship hurls sideways, the chief falls to dark water. So, save her. 90% chance the crew scours it saves her. 0% chance saves her, but injured fall. 9% chance she drowns. Saved. The storm comes in from the Atlantic like a living thing, hungry and howling. Waves taller than long ships crash against the cliffs, sending spray 100 feet into the air. The ground itself shakes with each impact, and the wind threatens to sweep off your feet. We're going to shout something lost to the gale and points towards the cluster of stone buildings. The coastal settlement now battening down against nature's fury. But the path there runs along the cliff edge, and the sea seems determined to claim that ground. Behind you, an open moor offers shelter. Little shelter. Ahead, warmth and walls, if you can reach them. Lightning splits the sky. For a moment, the waves below seem frozen in place, impossibly vast, impossibly angry. But they carried away because cannot lose anyone. 80% chance success, 20% chance fail. No one left behind. Every party shoulders the smallest member of your party while you support another. Progress is slow, but no one is left to face the storm alone. Reach shelter as a group, battered but complete. Now we can gain access to a monument expedition activity. Increase travel trade experience when you visit a point of interest. It'll be useful to use the monument expedition to increase one of your skills. The food that chieftain of Hildland's residents in Hildland is excellent. Of course, a far cry from the usual rough and ready fare I'm so used to. I'm very glad you can answer my summons, as gesture directs. I'd like to see if there's anything we can do to help one another. After all, there are certain times that a man of my stature can't get as done as in the muck as certain jobs require. You get a hook on me. Well, gold never goes amiss. I just turned that gold and now it's gone. Because I failed this thing's initiative. Damn it. Visited Hrolfr. Timidly peeking out the grassy hill on the wind-lashed coast. This cluster of ancient stone dwellings lied half buried beneath the earth. Washed by the stinging breeze of the ocean, it endures its silence. Its walls low and weathered. Its heart cold for countless centuries. Still yet echoing with the memory of lives long vanished. Ognis Furs. Peasant Revolt. Insular Norse. I think I know a kill. Household Guard. Now we have more knights. Excellent. There it is. The land of Iceland. The banquet tables extend far. My high throne gleams of rubies and sapphires. Guests from the four corners of the world celebrate my 20 years of blistering. Another cup of sweet ambrosia, glorious emperor, supreme arch steward, Theron asks, offering a splendid goblet. Quavered eagerly. Dance for me, fool. I bellowed at the disgraced and humbled Sigurda. Stitches face those who crossed me. I closed my eyes just a moment. Upon open again, I find myself in an all too familiar straw bed. I sighed. Just a dream. I will make my dream a reality. Here we are, partner. My path takes me up a particular rock formation. A cluster of boulders arranged almost like a tiny village. With gaps that could be doors and flat surfaces that might be rooftops. Your Icelandic guide, VIET. Suddenly also bows towards stones. The Hrolfr dwell here, he whispers, the hidden people. We must ask their permission to pass, or misfortune will follow. I exchange a skeptical glance of you. What the locals take is very seriously. Several farmers have gathered, leaving small offerings of food and milk at the base of the largest boulder. One claims his cousin moved a stone from here last year and broke his leg the very next day. Fascinating. Tell me more about these hidden people. Folklore scholar. Spend an hour learning about the Hrolfr folk, how they live in rocks and hills, how they can bless or curse mortals, how sometimes steal unbaptized children. The stories are rich with detail and clearly ancient, would it sure not they reveal much about how Icelanders understand their strange land. Thunder echoes honestly overhead, a dull interruption of the lashing winds and the whipping rain working on the scattering our convoy. Distant cries echo up and down the lines as carts and animals sink into the rocky earth. The storm is doing its level best to wash us all the way to hell. Children and elderly shiver in miserable silence, soaked to the bone and wondering when hypothermia begin to set in. The air crackles with static attention alike. My father's on the edge of breaking. Ron, what's your bag doing? Joel saves the day here. Unless our horseshoes and saddles in our current need of repairs. This is nothing new for anyone who's traveled along the roads. Any travel by mountain requires maintenance of such supplies. The villages of Cosmopolitan are home to some of the craftsmen who can repair our horseshoes and saddles at a reasonable price. Of course, we could try to save our money and not spend it on horseshoes and saddles until they actually break down. I will bear with it, just be careful because we're already there. So that modifier will not matter anymore. As we visit Mount Hekla. Hekla is a volcano notorious for its frequent eruptions and lava flows. Its nickname, the Gateway to Hell, is due to the belief among many that it is a literal gate to hell. There's a Christian legend that the arch-traitor Judas Iscariot is imprisoned under the mountain for all of eternity. Uncover a secret. Job does pay. Let's do it. Just arrived here. Oh, and gather provisions while you're at it. We got some. And we've already arrived. The chief's suspicion lies upon her steward, Orda, so I find myself stalking through the halls of an abbey. He's clearly difficult of himself. I chance more step closer, behind a jutting wall. I can almost hear his whispered words, whether they are confession of God or just wild muttering. I can't quite make it out. I had enough of hiding. Excellent, excellent, the cheetah moves as I bring her the news. I had my suspicions, of course, but I had to confirm. It's just as a guard to bring forward my pay, stroking her chin and thumb. Her reward. Should I need help in the future? Do not hesitate to answer my call. Farewell, Lady Hrolfr. They calls her the deep-minded. People talk of her weighty thoughts and deep opinions. She prefers to sit and think. Your brother, she's of insular Christianity, also known as Celtic Christianity. Anything here? Criminal contracts. Is there anything that's worth confidence tricks to? Can't be doing that stuff. Let's see. Locks trained for a tournament decision. Can't look at the upgrades? Actually, you can look at that there, dummy. These are all unit intensive. You know what? Give me the proving grounds. Just move there. Just travel around the island for a bit. Now, down here. Steam rises lazily from the pool of crystal clear water nestled amongst the moss-covered rocks. The contrast is striking. Snowflakes drift down from lighted skies while the water before it radiates warmth. My slight guide led just towards the natural path of the prime. The land itself bleeds heat here, he explains, testing the water. Our ancestors believed such places were gifts from the gods, or perhaps hoarding such a fire that sleeps beneath our feet. Several local farmers have already claimed spots in the pool. Their clothes hung on the nearby rocks. Their gunweb out of curiosity rather than hostility. After days of travel through Iceland's unforgiving landscape, the promised world is almost unbearably tempting. The bath would be most welcoming after our journey. I step into warm waters and soon myself engage in pleasant conversation with the locals. They share news, gossip, and even a few tips about safe passage through the highlands. The heat seeps into my bones, washing away the aches of travel. No delays. I press on a bit further, keen to make it on Osterland. According to the plans, we crest the largest hill, then we like our struggles when I finally come down and win. Thud! 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 I turned to see the source of the noises. All on mouth started collapsing on the ground. Seems that Krakow was right. These poor beasts can only take so much strain. I should have listened to that when I had the chance. We proceed on foot, because we're almost there. See? Nothing to it. Now, we head back there. And then we'll be leaving Iceland to Ireland. The distant rumble grows to a roar as they cross the glacial plain. Magnus points towards the mountains. Face fell. The glacier! Look! A wall of grey water, thick with ice and debris, surges down the valley towards it. A yokalop! A glacial outburst flood. Released when volcanic heat melts the ice from below. The Icelanders speak of such floods as Taberna. Before they can carry boulders the size of houses and reshape the land itself. Perhaps minutes before the flood reaches you. The nearest high ground is a rocky crop some distance away. The plain around you offers no shelter, only flat, grey sand that will soon be scoured clean by the deluge. Hey Vate, how do we get everyone to safety? Strength and unity. It practically carries the slower members of your party. Their powerful legs turn through the sand. Everyone reaches the outcrop together, gasping and shaken but alive. Move your cursed tent, damn it! This is my spot, cries Trickery, disrupting my evening walk. Here sees that move, simply folding arms across streets. If it can't be your spot, then it's got my tent up on it now, can it? Snarks back. That's right, authority. Jake whirls around me. Later Hrolfr, please, I beg you, discipline this wretch. I'll side with you. I don't know what I'll do with you with that favor. There's nothing for me here. So, to Ireland. I want you to head to this bishopric. Let's hope for a good rest and relaxation. And of course, to make a bit of sense, have a little stop by at the Faroe Islands before going down further. Ever since the addition of the male flavor pack, they added a few landmarks I've not seen before, such as Giant's Causeway, Croppatrick, Clonmacanoise. Again, I might be butchering the Irish pronunciations because I don't know the Irish language. The Abbey of Kells, the Hill of Tara, and the Rock of Kasha. So we have to make our landing at Hrolfr. Whatever we endured, we can rest up there. So, ready? Move out. Set sail. Failed mediation. With the population nearing the thousands, managing the provision becomes significantly more intricate. Officers face difficulty in controlling actions of all the followers, sparking minor tensions to local settlements due to their pillaging. What's our followers like? We need more supporters. But I'm sure they'll all come around one day. Still there. Alright, let's make a little stop. And then out. I just want to check how you do it, but clearly you're busy with that tiny peasant revolt. And they're currently starving, so they'll die out later. The sea is calm and forgiving today. Still is a boulder and a powerful wind. Back to boot. It'll be an easy day. And for the rowers below, but then I spot a mangled corpse of a ship bearing nose first on jagged rocks just ahead. There doesn't appear to be any survivors, and the rocks would be no trivial thing to navigate. I'll heal to go and go investigate the stage wreck. Let's investigate. As suspected, the wreckage contains no life, save for a few birds pecking away at half-eaten corpses as the charges came forth. Upon closer inspection, I see something shiny on the bloodied beak of a bird. With a high-pitched squawk, it drops this object to the wreckage and flies away, maybe to collect this intriguing object. Lavender jade pendant. The rich purple streaks are stunning. Piety up and monthly piety from buildings up. Useful whenever you settle down somewhere. Splendid thing. You become more malcontent, huh? Ah, we are. The church holding. Reverse. Any contracts? Martial duties. That's what I want. I'd like to sell this because this doesn't mean anything to me. Bridget, that merchant over there actually made me higher offer. I managed to convince her. Yeah. Excellent. Right, now that we're here in the Abbey, let me look at the healers here. Although I'm not ill, but I just want to have a look. A medicinal jar for plague resistance. How much? You become the owner of that jar for 20 gold. That could be useful. This thin glazed earthenware contains rare and potent herbs, remedial minerals, various dried animal parts, all used by physicians when treating diseases and balancing humors. How about it? Yeah, it looks intriguing. Oof. Maybe God could bless our cause. Again, you're in Christian land. You're not in pagan land anymore. This garden is framed by hedges, trees spread on gentle mounds where the odd birds quickly reserved to the forge. I feel a presence quite strong here, calm and disputing. Water throne, my travels through this God's been with me all along. On a quarter mile, I noticed those looking wild fruits contributing to the lushness of the garden. Any temple holding you visit of a faith that's outside of yours, you can convert that immediately. But, you know, once I settle in, I'm going to become Catholic anyhow. So, not much use of incivism unless you want to take part on that new flavor. That flavor pack related to mail, since you're in Ireland now. Like, take part of the little pilgrimage. We can earn our provisions by doing the jobs. I'll come back to it. That's something I have to think about. Because now that we're here, here, this is one of the new activities you can do when you're playing in Ireland. Pilgrimage of Hrolfr. For historical context, Hrolfr is likely seen as sacred since the Neolithic era. Since Christianization, it has been strongly associated with this famous Saint Patrick, who was said to have fasted for 40 days at its summit, akin to Moses, who spent 40 days on Mount Sinai. Even today, many pilgrims travel here annually, trying to climb the mountain, especially on Reek Sunday. Your camp is in Castlebar. Oh, okay. So, you can do a pilgrimage. You don't have to be a Christian. But you have to be at the tribe of Castlebar, which is over there. Where this is located. Okay, so simply move to there and I get to do that pilgrimage. In mail. You got it. Oh, look. Tier 2, that means higher rewards. But remember, when you're playing in Ireland, there are a few forests, there's hills and plains, but there's a lot of wetlands. And wetlands is no good for adventurers like myself. Because remember what happened back in Finland. They claimed a few of my followers to these blasted waters. But let's do these jobs with high rewards. Oh my goodness, look at that. Let's do it. We'll be there. I'll remain at the temple holding. And plus I get to go to Giant's Causeway. And that other place. What we need, Pathfinder's gear. Or better yet. Let me see. No, skis won't do here. It's better to purchase Pathfinder's gear. Hills are dangerous. Spend little, but huge reward at the end. Alright, let's move out. In Irish country. As I traverse the wetlands of Ulster, my party stumbles upon treacherous marsh. The ground beneath your horse's hooves begins to give way, threatening to swallow them whole. Kraka, a travel leader, warns that this marshy terrain is infamous for trapping unsuspecting travelers in their mouths, potentially costing you your supplies and horses. Hrolfr, the most learned member of the party, suggested there might be a safer path around the marsh. However, Nakal proposed a more risky strategy, using logs to create a makeshift bridge across the marsh. What say you? I'll wade through myself. A tree leader shows it. 100% chance. Fearless leader. Find a safe path through the Maya. And we found a good shortcut. So this morning we asked for directions towards shortcut for our next destination. One of the locals passing by on the road in Dare Cullen Hill. Again, I don't know how to speak Irish. Locals told us that the route we're about to take is not actually the fastest way through the area, but there was a shortcut we could take. Thankfully, the local was entirely correct and we understood the directions given to us. So a good amount of time traveling through thanks to the shortcut. Thank goodness we learned about this shortcut. And visited Giant's Causeway. It's part of the temple holding here. Thousands of interlocking balsted columns converge along a part of the coast here. According to local folklore, this magnificent natural structure is said to be the remains of a causeway built by the legendary Phil MacComhany. So now you're in the land of the Scots for a bit. As I'm traveling, I come upon two women arguing on the side of the road. One of them, a pretty young woman, appears to be beaten nearly to death by a second older woman. Stopping for a moment, listen to quickly surmise that the older woman's accusing the young maiden of having some level of relations with her husband. The young maiden's vehemently denying these claims. While not immediately connected to the affair, as though it would be easy to intervene in one way or the other. I'll thread the old hag and have the young maiden tend to Gaelic. Beautiful. Huge reward! And a There might be another big reward for us when we revisit that. These proving grounds are built. Right before we get there, let me see. Look for heavy infantry. Personal bouts. Because I feel we're going to be ready to build an army. We got enough provisions to stock up on everything that we need. The heavy infantry captain commands the camp's armored battle line. They're responsible for the contingent's leadership, training, and tactics. It's taking 12 months. Get to work. Pretty big reward here. Let's go again. Last challenge. The hillside reveals an unexpected sight. A processional cross of magnificent craftsmanship. Its metal surface gleaming with gold and silver inlay. The cross stands in a natural amphitheater, clearly placed here with purpose. Before it can approach, warriors emerge from the concealed positions. Galagas, the fearsome Norse Gaelic mercenaries whose axes have decided the fate of Irish kingdoms. Their leader, a giant of a man with a braided beard, fights his two-handed axe on the earth. The cross of Amach. We guard it for those who prove worthy. Face us in honest combat, and perhaps we'll let you venerate it. Flee, and we'll know you for cowards. Try to take it by stealth. He smiles, showing his teeth. Please try. How's my... Oh yeah, your foot's at the max. Although I don't have the Aspiring Blade Master, but I'll accept your challenge. Single combat, traditional rules, 100% chance of victor's glory. The Hourglass leader facing you with his massive axe, but I trained exactly for this. Reading an opponent, finding openings, striking true. When he finally yields, blood streaming from a dozen cuts, his men step aside with newfound respect. The cross is yours to venerate. Though I'm a Norseman. We're not Christians yet, but I've begun to respect them. Oh, fellow hunter too. You know what? Go ahead. I'll help you out with that. I have a little money to burn. Oh yes, you must rest here. You don't want to have that happen again, now would you? We know what to do. Bring out your best. The Paymaster's clever handling of trade and resource managers resulted in notable increase in the camp's revenue. With the extra income, we can invest in improvements in the camp's infrastructure and security. Riding a little cluster of tents as they supply tents, I come across a gaggle of fathers having dinner around a small hut. Curiously, both Vimler and Hrolfr amongst them. They don't particularly enjoy one's company. Or have time to ponder such a strange quirking of seating. Of mother something inaudible, only for the whisper to send down a blind rage. Oh, flash, weapons drawn, and the blood's about to be spilled. I gotta intervene. Put a halt to this. Success. Massive payment. Abandoned Kora. While traveling across the hilly landscapes of the Hebrides, spot a traditional Gaelic boat standing on the shore. It's a sturdy vessel, crafted from animal hides, stretched over a wooded frame, but its crew is nowhere to be found. There's an eerie silence around it, broken only by the distant call of the Lulu. The boat is laden with crates and barrels, possibly containing valuable goods, but the crew's abrupt departure raises questions about what might have caused them to abandon their cargo. Malcolm suggests that you could investigate the crew, but Kraka, your caravan master, warns it might attract unwanted attention. Wolfen adds that the crew's disappearance could be due to the belief of the mythical blue men of the Minch, sea creatures said to inhabit these waters. Have Nako investigate discreetly. Stealthy success. Managed to retrieve some of the goods without alerting anyone. Good man. Now let's go on this little pilgrimage in the Patch, as we'll continue to travel all around Ireland. And we'll do that little job too. Believe it or not, as you traverse the boggy wetlands of Connacht, our party stumbles upon a moss-covered stone. Upon closer inspection, Hrolfr identifies as an ancient Brehon law stone, inscribed with detailed rules about beekeeping. A stone, a relic of a time when honey was more valuable than gold, sparks a humorous debate within your party. Proki jests about the absurdity of laws in governing the care of bees, while Nalko ponders on the potential for smuggling honey. Piety, however, seems to have developed a sudden fear of bees, much to the amusement of the others. I think we should respect the bees and their laws. Beware the consequences. My attempt to respect these bee laws resulted in a swarm attacking the party. Piety is stung multiple times. Sorry about that. Bug! Here we are. Patrick. St. Patrick is said to have spent 40 days fasting on the summit of this mountain overlooking the Atlantic Ocean, like Moses on Mount Sinai. Since then, Christians from all across Ireland have journeyed to this holy mountain to retrace St. Patrick's steps. Surrounding the mountains are many altars, ancient rock art, and other monuments forming a great ritual landscape. You're a veteran traveler now. We can do a pilgrimage, and it's rather interesting that you can do that when it says follows a pagan faith. Like they probably meant, whatever's left of, Celtic paganism it was back in the day. And no, there are no other decisions related to, Mayo in this region, this part of the Earldom. Yeah, that's where the flare pack is located. But first, before I go do that pilgrimage, let's go instruct a few people. Council left court. Hey, where are you? He is located there. Chance of success of gaining beneficial character modifiers depending on your level of devotion. It's kinda So, again, you either a Christian or a pagan. We can do pilgrimages. And the camp is right here in Kasaba. Let me see. Just an act of devotion. Just to pay my respects here. No invited activity guests. Something tells me you need a Christian companion. No valid characters found. Well, anyways, let me pay a visit here. It's a castle holding? I thought it's tribal. No, it isn't. That's tribal holding. Okay, hold on. How many areas that are actually feudal and the other tribal? Oh, so the chief is also the holder of the castle, though wrong government type. Interesting. I didn't notice it's a castle holding, so this is my first. Few places are as majestic as a castle, and Castlebar is no exception. Irish troops and banners are visible everywhere in the city. As we pass through the main gates, we spot a handful of guards peeking out from the braziers above. My Karen master, Kraka, looks around with a content face, seemingly enjoying the change in scenery. Let's have a look at Castlebar Castle. The Castlebar Castle grounds are as expected furnished for martial purposes, with casks of arrows, stray pole weapons, a handsome stable, and the like. The training ground is just outside the gates, and a handful of garrison guards are dotting around the entrance, either half asleep or polishing their weapons. Parker looks on contemplatively, then ponders a robust banner depicting the Arborean coat of arms, gently swaying away. Let's visit local training grounds. And I tells ya, things have been going around south around here for ages. Local master of arms. Corner snorts. Egalitarian. This incessant's looking over my shoulder, questioning my false cries approach the range. Instinctively, I check out a plethora of equipment and training obstacles, doing my best to ignore his bad luck. You know, we don't have a master of arms at the moment, but oi, you should join our camp. Plenty of freedom. You'd be a damn good officer. Walking back to the castle gates, the training grounds, the guards in their post barely give me a second glance this time around. The horse-carried procession is exiting through the gates. From the looks of it belonging to a local nobleman, I consider spectacles all over where to go next. You should look over some able bodies as garrison. Inside the stuffy garrison, the guards arrange a fighting range to hone their skills. Two are currently using it, jabbing each other while cheered by a handful of onlookers. I observed their training a bit, and it's clear that Rodri, the first guard, is significantly more experienced than Malkaran, the second guard. As they finish up, I gingerly approach the ring. They should focus on me. Alright, you fellas. Oh, one's a bleeder and the other's a strategist. We would have use for some of your skills, Hrolfr. You're a strategist. Exiting the guard corners, I squint the sudden flood of lights. I deeply inhale the fresh air. Greg was starting to look at me weird. I'm not one to complain, but sure, we're done here now, Leech. Let me hear a story. A story? Anything for us? Intrigue, learning. Well, I'm getting better at learning these days, so maybe scholarly work would be a nice change of pace, for once. As long as the job pays well. Oh. There's one. Tutor child. For more, I thought I saw plagues on the screen. So if we can't do this job there, then we can at least go down there and do that one instead. You know what, I want to move down there instead. Is there a child option that deals with wetlands? Actually, this one does. Okay. Just making sure. Let's go. I'll come back to there and maybe I'll do a pilgrimage when I get more Irish Christians. Unless I have to convert to Irish Christianity, Insularism. I'll come back up there. Knowledgeable scholars desired. Persons others are requested by the chieftain of Ormond to assist the tutelage of children residing in his court. Render's performance will be recognized. Article gives me a curious but expected look as we meet up for first session. Fishing boats are just coming into dock and the sea's bounties being offloaded. Looking around and identify plenty of opportunities to improve on the current organization. Something Article should be informed of. And then as out of thin air, large rashes run up to the child. Desperately, the boy shrieks in joy and immediately starts playing with the dog. Crocker, it's your time to shine. 94% chance succeeds, 5% chance fails. So just needed help with this. Because I do not have the skills to do so. I'm tempted to say I do not have the skills to pay the bills. I'm tempted to say that. Trigby Foulfart. Renowned for having questionable control of his bodily functions during feasts, council meetings, and public gatherings. A brief look of confusion passes Article's face as he ponders where my assistant from our last session has gone. Tranquil gardens accommodate ample teaching opportunities. As I survey our surroundings, I quickly scout this matter of vintage points of teach I go about. When I turn around, though, the boy stopped dead in his tracks, intently inspecting an arm-sized stick he found on the ground. Mr. was thoroughly unresponsive to my calls. Ah, this isn't my field. I'll just say, alright, just for a little longer, and let us commence. So I'm tempted to give him curiousness about field postings. 22% chance of failure. Success. Alright. As reconvene, Article tells us I want to summarize the topic of our last session. A gallows crowd's just breaking up, their thirst for blood satisfied. I spot a handful of opportunities to teach Argyle more about the grace of social interaction. Behind me, my protege is drifting along, picking up his wooden horse from a nearby stand. He starts riding around, gratefully running a laps around the area. Alright. Success. Chieftain, Don Khan, or Don Khan, attempts to suppress his giddiness. Well, your unconventional methods are seemingly very successful. Young Artgal's already showing signs of more discerning thoughts and ideas. Angles of attack, social courtesies, economics, marvelous work. Thank you. And do let me know the next time you're in the area. The JD exclaims, just excited. We saw past another song. It was all him. Big payment. Provisions at the max. Which again, I might convert to insular Christianity, just to do that little pilgrimage in case that option has been brought out. But I still got a few landmarks to visit. So just doing more exploring. Visit the Rock of Castle. Overlooking the wide plain, the great fortification of Castle is said to be the place where St. Patrick converted the King of Munster to Christianity. It has been the seat of Munster's kings for centuries. Very good fort level. And yet this is a travel holding with a castle on it. And here we are. Combat Coins. A great monastery founded on the banks of the broad river Shannon. Its stone church, a tall round tower, rising solemn amid the wind-swept plains. With time has become one of the most important centers of learning of the island, drawing scholars and pilgrims from far and wide. Excellent. Learning. You might need that whenever you settle down and found a Norman culture. Travel to Dublin. Pass through here first. Slope. The Abbey of Kellis. Founded by Saint Columba, who came from the Ona Abbey. This monastery is the center of learning in Ireland. It is particularly known for housing the Book of Kells, a gospel book of peerless artistic beauty that has dazzled and inspired pious Christians for centuries. Excellent. Slavers. Ambush has sprung expertly. A vulnerable bottleneck in the terrain lets a horde of slavers, shackles the swords in hand, team at us from two sides whilst the third group delayed the convoy's main body from assisting us. Of course, the screams breaks out from those and following, lacking weapons as realization kicks in. If these monsters went out, a horrifying fate waits many of us. I do not want to lose these good followers. This is against this man. He's a Norse Catholic that resides here. Engage a late slaver in a duel. It's been a while. For a few brief moments, Venmunder and I paced in lazy half circles, each watching for an opening. I'd lift my makeshift mace, ready to defend myself, while I clutched his sword firmly in hand. Only one of us is walking away from here today, and I tended to be me. With a sudden twitch, our bout begins. Venmunder surges forward, forcing me back as a quick slash, while bringing a high kick up my chest to almost topple. Damn! He thinks I need to make an example out of you, because I'm a Viking, you see. I can't count how many people I've crushed with my mace. First time. Maybe Venmunder will be the next, maybe not. My reign of savage holes must have him worried about it. Venmunder retaliates with a smooth flowing series of quick slashes and powerful cleaves, each strike forcing me back a little more. My form is good, with only small errors. Venmunder's stance is formidable. I've yet to open up my opponent's guard at all. I see no way yet to claim victory. I'll show you how I lift a mace. Confident attack. My mace flows around Venmunder like water, each strike changing fluidly to the next. A series of well-timed strikes. I unexpectedly managed to swing a vicious kick from my shin, momentarily hobbling me. Form is good, small errors. This stance formidable. Opponent's guard is fierce, and I feel far from victory. Fool, take this. Feint and stab. Feint with my mace, stab with an offhand dagger, because I'm a hunter. My mace makes a rapid thump one way, only for me to draw a fresh dagger on my offhand and lunge at Venmunder as he attempts to parry. Venmunder pulls away from my every blow, letting me attack while getting another assault hidden. It's not for long I can feel myself beginning to tire. My form is excellent, with little chance of mistake, and his stance is incredible. We're evenly matched, with victory balancing on a knife edge. He gave me a damn good beating early on, but I've been making more and more of a comeback. Do it! Butchery! A grim smile curls over my lips as I launch into a blistering series of crushing thwacks, each strike putting more focus on pain than victory. Bit by bit, Venmunder's spirits breaks. each lick of agony ripping away any sense of stalwart prowess he might have tried to retain. I break him down in a quivering mess, screaming and gushing blood to the dust. Even for me, eventually, enough is enough. A final rapid thump hastens Vermund's denied significantly, but not too significantly. Goodbye, Vermunda. This mace has saved my life, because it's like, yes, we made it out because of what was said in the tales. Until we found materials that we can make this makeshift mace much more durable. The man's death sends a ripple of panic confusion throughout the enemy's ranks. The battle around me inflects. Chorus of screams and wet gurgles going up from the foe as the slave traders are put to the sword by the dozen. Dying in their droves. Within minutes, a relief force from the column's main body breaks through the slave rear guard, and it's all over. With a contemptuous kick, I knock over what remains of their leaders face down under there. That's what I think of you, scum. And here we are, Hill of Tara, in Dublin. A grassy hill protected by dikes and earthworks, and ringed by the ancient carved stones, the holy seat of the High Kings of Ireland. Though no walls stand upon it, the land itself holds power, and attracts visitors from all over the island. Let's head back to Castlebar and attempt to do this pilgrimage. If not, then this is going to be the moment where I have to convert to Christianity so I can gain the ability to do so. While navigating the marshy terrain of Meath, me and my party stumble upon a secluded monastery. I think we know which one. The austere stone building sits in stark contrast to the surrounding wetlands, a beacon of civilization amidst the wild. Inside, I find a group of monks engaged in a heated debate. They're discussing the nature of sin and salvation, a topic of great interest and controversy in the Christian world. Saying, "Med and faith," the head monk approaches here, greets him warms on. "Ah, Lord Hrolfr, your arrival is most fortuitous," he exclaims. "We're locked in a theological debate and would greatly appreciate your insight. Would you care to weigh in?" I'll say both sides have merit. Perhaps truth lies between them. My balanced perspective helps the monks find common ground. Our passage through these dreaded swamplands has been fraught, fraying nerves and energy. We slog through the cloying damp, swatting bugs, and trying to stay dry. Began to feel weak, lagging behind the rest of the party when I normally set the pace. There's something wrong. Thankfully, my physician is here. Oh, he came to my tent and offered me a draught, which was yellow in color. Told me to pinch my nose as I drank it, which the tepid liquid passed my lips as I almost immediately spat it out again. I demanded to know the contents of the cup, and he revealed that it was fresh urine from a pregnant sow. This mostly waste turned out to be just what I needed. For now the worst of my symptoms alleviated, and the world seemed a little brighter. Excellent work. Now can I do it? Because I brought a few insular things around. No? Okay then. Guess I should convert to Christianity. I mean, they did say you can just convert to a Christian faith for 1,000 piety. Not necessarily at the moment of settlement, to which that time will come in another episode. Maybe insulism is such a bad thing after all. So I shall convert to insulism. We consider us hostile, they consider us evil. So there you go. Easy. Now head back to mail. So now can I perform this pilgrimage? cannot. Well, at least you'll be making a couple of friends in Ireland, but for your camp followers, you gotta think of them for what you just did. Oh, actually, you've been gaining more supporters than placated. I mean, after all, they view them as hostile rather than evil, though there are some more zealous ones. And I think there's a reason for that. Let me find it. They consider us hostile. Really, why is that? Maybe it's because we're both pluralists, I think. So it's like, yes, we think of them evil, but instead they view us as hostile rather than evil, which is rather surprising. Face from other religious families is considered to be hostile. Ah, I get it now. I get it now. Because back in the older versions of the game, we view each other as evil, but not the case. So, I think this was the right call. Even though you don't get the benefit of, you know, of all that. So you could say, around this time, he became a Christian, but of the insular variety. But that would give me a bonus objective to convert to the faith whenever you get this finished. So now your priority is to one day be the ruler of Nistria, and you need to start saving a lot of money. And the best way to earn that money, get rich quick, would have to be, well, swords for hire. You need to do some mercenary work. Find more prowess and martial contracts. Especially that you're gonna have busting about soon. In other words, we must create an army. But we need money first. You available yet? No. So I can't do this pilgrimage, which, as nice as it would have been, but I guess it probably doesn't apply to landless adventurers. Or anybody for that matter. Because you were an adventurer. Oh, well, it's not the end of the world here. I'm gonna make one last visit before I end the episode. Well, let's see. Ah, transport contracts. Perfect. There are no transport contracts nearby. Just this stupid one. Oh, Grand Tournament. Over in Meath. Or over there. Something for me to do. Once I feel better. And since you have a proving ground now, now you can train for the upcoming tournament. Whatever it may be. So, that's something to consider. And at some point I will visit this realm, swing around, find the right way for me from that, so we can blend cultures together. But to conclude the episode, I'm just kind of surprised that they seem to be pleased with me. Because them being polytheists, they viewed me as rather hostile instead of evil. So, except for Arnbjorn, which you've been. Would be better if you just leave at some point. But, so. We gotta do some camp robbery too. So in the next episode, a tournament in the smack dab in the middle of Ireland, and then begin to think about going up to mercenary work. You know, start putting these to use. Maybe perhaps switch my lifestyle to, you know, towards more wandering, as you've been doing quite a bit of that lately. Yeah. So we hope you people enjoyed this episode and all that. So we'll see you in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.